52. It's going to be another incredible day weather-wise here in Rochester. I'm loving the week.
It is indeed. We'll have a forecast coming up for you at 5:58.
Absolutely. But first, collecting can mean big money to some people, whether it's toys, Pez dispensers, lunch boxes. There is usually a collector who wants it.
That's right. They're everywhere.
Absolutely.
But in the town that gave birth to the casual photographer, who else would you expect to find but a Kodak collector?
Kodak. The name graces the Rochester skyline. It's one of the most recognized brand names worldwide, and it's the passion of a particular Webster resident. Meet Frank Calandra, camera buff and Kodak collector. His collection ranges from the very old to the more recent, from the low-tech to the high-tech, and each has a story.
The neat feature about this one is that you'll see it has a little metal, looks like a pencil, and what you would do is when you snap the picture, you'd open this little window and scratch on here the date or any notes that you can fit in there.
Some of the stories wouldn't exactly be politically correct these days.
These were also sold in a special kit that included makeup, lipstick, and a mirror, and it was meant either as something a woman would purchase or that a man would purchase for a woman.
Even cameras that look the same to the average eye have a story for a collector.
To a collector, well, collectors are silly people to begin with. To a collector, they'll look at them and they'll find differences in the screws and the trim and things like that. And that's what makes them interesting to collectors, those differences.
The little uniqueness.
The little uniqueness, right.
Frank is also a bit of a Kodak historian. For example, ask him why the classic Brownie Hawkeye camera went from an eyepiece to a viewfinder to line up shots, and he'll tell you.
One theory that I heard, I don't know how much truth there is to this, was that it seemed less threatening to the subject, when, especially with children. If a child was looking at someone that had a camera up in front of their face, they were looking at some kind of a monster.
Right.
However, holding it at waist level and looking down into the camera, you could see the photographer's face and it put the subject a bit more at ease.
Or he can take you further back in time to explain this wooden box.
A little bit before you could take your film down to the drugstore and get it processed, you had to do it yourself. And the first film takes were made of wood, and you would just load the film in here and turn these cranks and put your chemicals in.
And he doesn't stop at cameras. If it says Kodak on it, Frank's got it or he wants it.
And what do we got here? We got even a fishing lure.
A Kodak fishing lure. It's actually a NASCAR lure, but for the old Kodak team.
When I asked Frank why he got hooked on cameras, he didn't really know, but he did know he's not stopping anytime soon. In fact, he's making room on his shelves for the digital era.
And Frank was kind enough to donate one of his Brownie Hawkeye with the flash here for our set so that it graces our shelves in the background of Wake Up Rochester for years to come.
That's really cool. Yeah, we thank him a lot for that. That's really neat. Coming up very soon, headlines, weather, traffic. You're watching Wake Up Rochester.